Today. I want to be real brief today, but I want to talk about doing things that require less of our time that creates more value. Time is a very important element in your life. You can't get back the time that you lost, but you can compensate for the time that you lost. Now, I want you to write this down. I'm going to talk about the value of time. I'm going to be very brief, but I'm going to say this in a quick amount of time. There are three different quadrants or categories I want you to write down. Basically, we're talking about doing things that require less of your time that creates more value, doing things that require all of your time that creates value, and doing things that require none of your time that creates value. And remember, I'm talking today about the time management or the time management of value. There's value in learning how to manage your time. I never forget, several years ago, I read a book by Bill Gates, and it changed my life. And it's called Doing Business at the Speed of Thought. And what Bill Gates was saying is because of technology in 1999, between 1999 and 2001, he basically was giving us a prophecy, letting us know how valuable technology is really going to become because we're going to be able to utilize it and do certain things that we've never been able to do before. And I don't really have to go into the detail of how valuable technology is, the internet and the iPhones and the iPads, because you already know how valuable technology is. But these are the three things that I want you to write down because this is what's going to speed up your life and cause you to evolve and cause you to grow at a fast rate. Doing things that require all your time, doing things that require less of your time, and doing things that require none of your time. Now, remember what I said, the three elements of value that has a lot to do with how you're managing your time. You have to ask yourself this question. I'm doing things that require all of my time. Remember that? I'm doing things that require less of my time, and I'm doing things that require none of my time. Now, in America, primarily, we're used to doing things that require all of our time. So, number one, you have to assess all of the things in your life that's taking up the majority of your time, and you have to begin to assess the value that those things are creating. If they're creating a lot of value, then guess what? I can do those things because they're creating value for my life. But if I'm doing a lot of things that are taking up all my time, but it's producing a little bit of value, then you have to begin to look and change the way you're doing life because you have too many things, whether it's people, whether it's a job, or whether it's a relationship. Too many things are taking up all your time, but yet it's producing so little value. But I never forget when I met a Jewish young man, and a Jewish young man began to show me about technology. And so I began to make some decisions in my life several years ago, around 2005, 2006. And so what we began to do is we began to embrace technology. I started to invest in my music, and I started to put my music online. I started to hook up with guys that knew about technology, about programming. And before you know it, check this out, guys. I built an organization that doesn't require any of my time anymore. Some of it requires a little bit of my time, but now I actually have a digital nervous system, or I have a computerized system that's able to sell products that doesn't require any of my time. Think about that. So if you establish certain things in your life that don't require any of your time, if you establish certain things in your life, whether it's ideas, whether it's decisions that require just a little bit of your time, it leaves your time to do other things. Now I'm able to spend time with my wife. I'm able to spend time with my kids. I'm able to minister. I'm able to build people up. One of my things that I love doing is I love ministering. I love ministering to people. I love encouraging people as it relates to God. But if my time is all wrapped up into trying to make money, trying to provide, trying to live this life to where I take care of my family, then that's going to take up all my time. So it was so important for me to run across this book called Doing Business at the Speed of Thought, because what I began to realize is I begin to realize that the majority of our time that we spend in life has a lot to do with our jobs. And so what I began to do is I began to believe that I could start to basically supplement my income in different areas by creating systems and strategies through technology that required less of my time and none of my time. And when I achieved that, things begin to grow and emerge from there. One thing we're working on right now is we have a actual deal with Xbox, and so we're able to distribute games through Xbox. One game will release this December and of 2022, and then we're working on the second video game. And listen to this, that requires none of my time because all I did was I went online and I hooked up with some freelancers that were very knowledgeable at building video game databases. I'm just going to give you an example of doing things that require none of your time and less of your time. The majority of the time, we're including ourselves in every equation. We're going to try to go learn how to build a video game. We're going to go to school and try to learn how to do it. We're going to go to school to try to learn how to fix this car. You're going to go outside and you're going to try to, change your oil. Everything you're doing is requiring all of your time. And so what you're going to have to do in order to evolve in this 21st century is you're going to have to start outsourcing things and connecting with people that already know how to do everything. You do not have to be the pieces to all the puzzles. You're going to have to start adding value to other people's lives by connecting with people that know how to do things. And even if you need a maid or if you need a housekeeper, we have a housekeeper. We have maids that come in and clean the house because that frees up our time. See, that's doing something that requires all of your time, and it's going to take away from your time. So what God is showing me how to do in this season is he's showing me how to do things that require less of my time and none of my time. That creates value. But remember, if you're doing all these things that require all of your time, then it's going to take away a lot of your time, and you're not going to be able to morph, and you're not going to be able to discover greatness in yourself because you're doing so many things that are requiring all of your time, but yet it's adding little value to your life. And so the reason I brought up the freelance is I wanted to show you that some of my ideas and my concepts and my thoughts are I'm learning to network and I'm learning to collectively connect with people that are experts at what they do, and I pay them for that service. So now we're looking forward to releasing the second video game. We have a distribution deal with Xbox, and guess what? That doesn't require any of my time. I want to show you that. And I'm able to spend time with my family. I'm able to build my children up. I'm able to encourage them. I'm able to spend time with my lovely wife. I'm able to spend time with my church because I do things that require less of my time and none of my time. And I don't have to put all of my time and my effort into all these things because guess what I do? I outsource my life, and I take time to exist outside of myself by finding other people that are experts at what they do. One of the things that you can do is you can Google freelance websites. And, there's Care.com, I believe, is a site where you can find people in your area that allows you to be able to partner and network with people. It shows you their resume. It does a background check. And if you need someone to clean your house, if you need someone to earn your clothes, or even if you need someone to cook for you, that's going to free your time up to be able to tap into your potential. Because remember, it takes time for you to discover yourself. There's so much greatness in you. You need time to discover yourself. So that's why it's so important to learn to do things that require less of your time or none of your time. And that creates value for your life. And see, when you begin to understand what I'm talking about the value of time. Why is time so valuable? It's because when you have time, you're able to discover greatness in yourself. That's why this system does not want you to have time. The most valuable element in the world is time because time gives you the ability to be able to discover yourself. There's so many different layers of greatness that is in you. It's going to take time for you to discover yourself. So even if you're older and you're retired, that's wonderful to be in a position where you're retired and you get a check every month. Now you have to figure out how to utilize your time in other areas of your life that's going to add value. But remember this, if something is taking up all your time, you need to sit down and really assess to see how much value that particular thing is creating. If you're spending time talking to one person for 7 hours a day, that better be worth it because that's taking up all your time. Myself, I don't spend a lot of time on the phone talking to different individuals unless it's something that I have to do that's producing value or I want to invest in someone's life that I'm helping or that I'm encouraging. If someone has a loved one that dies, I spend time talking to that person, encouraging that person because that's something that means a lot to me as a minister because I want to add value to that person. But at the same time, there's a lot of different things that I'm doing in life. And so I have to sit back and I have to have wisdom. I'm a meditator. I think a lot. I think on ways to add value in my life that can produce less time and produce things in my life that don't require none of my time. Now remember, we're doing things that require all of our time, or we're doing things that require less of our time, or we're doing things that require none of our time. So you have to begin to assess what person are you? Because see, if you leave out technology And if you leave out the ability to outsource things to certain people, then the majority of time you're going to be doing things that require all of your time. And guess what? There's only 24 hours in a day. You can only do so much in your life. So guess what, guys? Today, this is called doing things that require less of your time and doing things that require none of your time. I want you to really understand the value of time. God has given every person 24 hours in a day. And so, how you manage your time will be how you manage your life, and your success is connected to your ability to manage your time. Again, this is Jay King with CLC Network. I love you guys. I'm always looking to add value and content to your life that can help you think different, that can help you elevate your life. Because remember, there's greatness in you, but you need time to discover it. God bless you.